Hi everyone, my name is Catalina Melo, Arts Manager from the British Council in Colombia. I would like to welcome you to the first chapter of A Moment With. I'm here with Inua Ellams and we're in Cartagena, Colombia in the Hay Festival 2020. So welcome Inua.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So I would like to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
What motivated you to start writing?
Poverty. I didn't have money and I had a lot of time on my hands and big ideas in my head. So I just started writing them down so that I could breathe and find, a peace of mind really, just to get the voices out of my head.
So I know you lived in Nigeria for about 10, 15 years?
12 years,
12
I was
years.
born there.
How has Nigeria impacted on your writing?
It's given me a very safe space from which to write, to explore the world, but come back to a very strong sense of identity, of place, of cultural heritage, from which I can critique and look at the world and ask questions about it and how it works.
So I know that in the UK you have created several cultural experiences that include night walkings, music, rap. Could you please tell us how these experiences relate to your poetry?
A lot of my poetry is about music and musicality, which I get a lot from hip-hop tradition. And a lot of my poetry is about exploring darkness and the darker sides of humanity, but creating safe ways and safe journeys through them, navigating really complex issues, really complicated and obscure, sometimes issues we're nervous to really take on board. And I try to create safe and beautiful ways through that. That really informs the Midnight Run, but also really informs how I write theatre and the subjects I choose to write about.
This new program, A Moment With, we also want to know more about our artists, our writers, musicians. So I would like to ask you, what other activities besides writing do you enjoy?
Let me see, my favorite sport is basketball. I'm not very good at it, but I like it. What else do I read? This is a huge question because I think because my job is my hobby. So I like doing it. Even when I'm not doing it, I do it for fun. So besides writing, playing a little basketball, watching stupid things on Netflix, cartoons and anime, there isn't much else that I do, but it takes me across the world to places like this. It's always time consuming and it's always replenishing.
I imagine you have had a lot of interviews, not just here at the Hay Festival 2020, but in your whole career.
Yeah.
Is there a question that you would like to answer but no one has asked?
Yes. Maybe I can ask you this question.
Okay.
Yeah? If you could be any week in history of existence, from when the earth was created to now, if you could be any week in time, which week could you be? That's my question.
That's a very tough question,
I know,
and I shouldn't be answering questions at this moment because the interview is about you.
It's about me, yeah.
Do you have the answer?
No, I mean, okay, I think
Have you thought about that before?
I like asking people that question, but no one has really asked me. I think I'd want to be the week in which the very first amoeba insect crawled out of the ocean and left water and began to explore land, because it's where we all came from. So that moment where we were neither sea creatures or land creatures, somewhere in between, where everything was possible. I think I'd like to be that week. Yeah.
I'll think about that question
Good.
and try to answer it later.
Brilliant. Thank you.
And just one last question.
Yeah.
So Inua is a very recognized writer from the
Sometimes.
UK.
Yeah.
So is there any recommendations you would like to give to young writers interested in a career in writing, in poetry?
Let me see. Try as much as possible to protect your voice and all the natural and sometimes unnatural grammatical mistakes that you made, the way in which your brain works to pair things together, to join random facts together. That is what makes you an individual. That's what makes your brain different from everybody else and what makes you a distinctive writer. So try and guard all of those things as much as possible. Without that, you would not be an artist, and then there's no point writing.
Okay. So Inua, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
You'll see more chapters like this where you will be able to meet artists in different fields.